Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Got a question. I really had no idea what I was going to talk about today, and someone just asked a question, and that basically is every process state specific? So the truth is, a lot of processes in how we flip or wholesale houses are state specific, and I've spoken at length ad nauseum about how different it is in New York. But the question was specifically, do I need a separate LLC if I'm doing work in Texas, and are you bound by the laws of the state? So the quick answer is absolutely not, right? Most companies that are national are only incorporated in one state, right? Most of them are incorporated in some tax-friendly state like Delaware, the big companies anyway. And these multinational conglomerates are incorporated in one place, right? They might be Ireland, or it might be the Cayman Islands, or someplace, usually because of favorable tax laws. But you can be incorporated to have an LLC in one state and operate in all the 50 states with that LLC. Now, while we're talking about LLCs, we'll talk about what an LLC is and why you should have one, and what's involved in it. I've done millions of videos on this, but I'm going to continue talking about it because you probably haven't seen those videos, right? And that is the challenge that I always have, in that I remember making these videos and I figure you've seen everything that I put out there, which is stupid because nobody's seen everything I put out there, because I put out hundreds and hundreds of videos. Hundreds. I should check how many. It's so many. So let's talk about what an LLC is. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Okay? An LLC, in my opinion, is one of the greatest inventions ever created. Before LLCs are not as old as you think they are. I just want to see how many videos I put out. Videos. Does it give you a count? Maybe if I go to YouTube Studio. I really shouldn't be making you wait while I do this, but content. How many videos have I done? Oh, there's so many. I don't even know how to do it. Okay. So, I don't know. I've done hundreds and hundreds of videos. So, the beauty of an LLC is that it's easy to form. It's not expensive. I've done videos on how to do it in New York. It takes 5 minutes and it costs $200. You do not need to use an attorney to do it for you. You do not need to pay somebody. The first couple of hundred LLCs that I formed, I did pay an attorney in Albany to form for me, and I'm not sure if I was stupid when I did that because it was available to do online, or if I just figured it out after that point. I'm going to hope that I figured it, that someone just showed me and I did it after that point and it wasn't available earlier, but it really doesn't matter. Right? I have a book. So I used to get these books. Here's a book. I still have some of these stupid books. I used to get this big book. It says Limited Liability Company. This is a property about 105 Lee LLC. Had a whole thing, and they used to charge, I don't know, I think $350 we used to pay to form an LLC, and we have to wait for the book to come, and it was a pain in the ass. Now you do it online. It takes, like I said, less than 5 minutes. I could probably do it in 3 minutes, and it's easy, and it's really no problem. But why is an LLC so great? So an LLC is a corporation that can file taxes as either an S corp or a C corp. Now, I am not an attorney and I am not an accountant, but the easiest way, an S corp, is where all of the profits pass through to the shareholders, right? That means you get a K1 at the end of each year. It says you are an S corp. It passes through to you. Company made $100,000. There's two partners. They each take $50,000 profit, and you can just file that on your personal tax returns. But the S corp still has to file its own return, and an LLC very often does have to file its own return also. A C corp is like a huge corporation. It's there. The problem with a C corp is that the company makes a profit. So the company makes $1 million in profit, and then it distributes it as a dividend to the owner, and then the owner has to pay tax on that too. So the company has to pay taxes, and then the shareholders, owners, also have to pay if it's distributed in a certain way. Obviously, if it's paid as a salary, then you're just going to pay income tax like you would in any situation. But you want to avoid double taxation. But the LLC was just made as an easy way to set it up. It's simple, and what it really does is protect you, right? limits your liability. It's an amazing thing. I've told the story 100 times, but you may not have heard it. So I was in litigation. We bought a house. We fixed it up. I don't even know if we fixed it up. We bought a house. We evicted the tenants, and we sold it. The tenants then sued the corporation that owned the house because they said that there was some kind of shenanigans going on. There was no shenanigans going on. And I had sold the house already. So technically, that entity, that LLC, had no assets, and I was paying an attorney to litigate this for me. And at some point, and obviously, just shows you how moronic I was. At some point, I realized, wait a second, what happens if they get a judgment against us? And my attorney goes, well, if the corporation has no assets, then there's nothing they can collect. I go, well, then let's stop litigating. We don't have to fight this. I couldn't give a crap what happens. There are no assets for them to get to. So that was a beautiful thing. And in general, when you close on a property, right? So I try to wholesale as much as I can. It ends up being 50 to 60% of my deals. But around half of the deals that I get into, I have to close on. When I close on a deal, I try to create an LLC to own that property. Now, I do that because the situation I just told you, once you sell it, you're off the hook. If somebody has a problem, they can go fly a kite because there's nothing to collect. But also, theoretically, if somebody trips and breaks their neck on the property, and they sue you and get a judgment, they can only collect that property, right? Now, if you have an overarching LLC and someone trips and breaks their neck, they can come after all your assets. The LLC might have money in the bank. The LLC might have a vehicle. The LLC might have all kinds of stuff that they can come after. But if it's just limited to what that property is, it limits your liability and it prevents them from coming after you personally, which is really the whole goal of this. Now, the truth is, when I first started doing this, way back in like 2004, I bought properties in my own name. And there was one advantage to that. One, I was too stupid to even know what an LLC was. But the advantage of that is that when I wanted to evict somebody, I can do it myself. I can go pro se, which means without an attorney. When you own a property in an LLC or any corporation, then you can't represent yourself. You have to actually hire an attorney. I'd rather do the evictions myself, although it's a time waster and probably stupid for me to think that. I just, in general, think that I'm better at doing evictions than most attorneys. That's just my opinion. That's in Nassau County. So the answer to the question, again, is no. You don't need separate LLCs for every state. One LLC can operate in any of the 50 states. One of the beauties of operating in our great country, the United States of America. So you don't need to do that. But I do believe everyone, when they start operating, when they start wholesaling and flipping, should create an LLC and should be working in that LLC. Because if you do screw something up, and there are people I know that have screwed things up and been liable for things, it's going to not extend to you personally, and you're not going to be liable for civil damages or any kind of issue that or any kind of litigation if it's owned in an LLC. So I think that's basically it. I wish I could talk more. I'm dying of thirst. 1 second, let me get water. So I hope this was helpful, right? I mean, this was a really easy answer. I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork, spelled out, .com. If you're interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork. One of my students texted me and I got to respond. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. I'm getting a lot more YouTube subscribers. And if you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithms that send more people to me. A lot more people watching my videos lately. And I think a lot of that has to do with you liking it. So please keep liking it. And really, most importantly, please keep the comments coming. Again, I blank out on topics to discuss. And it's completely my fault, right? Because in my brain, I know 2 months ago I spoke about X, and you may want to know about X, but you may never find that video. So keep the comments coming with the questions. You can ask a question about anything. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. Anything. I try to get back to comments within a couple of days. If it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something in depth that I've covered before, I'll send you links to a video or a link to a video or links to multiple videos on that topic. And if it's something new, I will answer it and do a whole new video on it. So I think that's a pretty good deal. considering I don't make any money from this and I spend 10 minutes a day on it. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, everybody. Please click like. The thumbs up really mean a lot to me, and I'm getting a lot more of them lately. So thank you very, very much.